Why don't you come down here and be the soundman? Happened at a small outdoor live music event. The budget was tiny, so the event had a bare-bones setup consisting a drum set, a couple of amplifiers and mics, and all that goes to a mixer board. I'm not a sound guy, so I don't know the terms. The sound man hired for the show looked more like a bodyguard or a bouncer at a club. Huge skinhead guy wearing all black and looked intimidating. As the show got underway, it was clear that the sound was terrible. Thanks to the sound man fiddling with the mixer, the sound swung back and forth between muddy and screeching feedback. He was probably attempting to improve things, but it wasn't working. Then, while one band was leaving and another starting to set up, unbearably loud feedback started happening. Everyone had to cover their ears till the sound man brought the volume down. A teenager shouted at the sound man, "Hey, cut the highs, man. Cut the highs." Quote, the big intimidating sound man didn't like this one bit. "Oh, you think you're so smart? Why don't you come down here and be the sound man?" Quote, "Wait, really? Are you serious?" said the teen. "Yeah. Come down here and be the sound man if you're so smart. Or shut your mouth." The teen walked over to the mixer. The kid clearly knew what he was doing because he didn't hesitate with any of the knobs and levels. He then asked the band to do a quick sound check. Going through all the levels of each mic including the drums, everything took maybe 5 minutes. When the band started their set, it was obvious to everyone that the sound was much better. Big intimidating soundman was red-faced. He didn't touch the mixer after that. As a fresh out of uni soundman, I sometimes worry I'm not good enough for a job in my field. But then a post like this pops up and I feel better. Oh man. That sounds like my parents' 40-year wedding anniversary concert 3 weeks back. The sound was, the band, Irish folk music, did the mixing themselves. And it was okay-ish, bordering on disastrous. Until my little brothers Phil marched up and asked to work the mixer board. The sound guy and producer of 50 Years open-mouth smile. Not only did the sound improve WASTLY, but they hired him for 4 gigs in the general area within the next month's open-mouth smile thumbs up. Thanks, Phil. How cool that this teen got to show his skills. My town had a venue famous for their import of heavy metal bands. One Scandinavian band brought their own sound guy. He was obviously unfamiliar with the setup. After a particular loud and terrible feedback screech, the singer stormed off the stage towards the sound guy, knocking him out in a single blow. The venue sound guy was present but had to be coaxed from the office for the concert to continue. I mean, the kid made it clear from the start that he knew what he was talking about. It sounds like he was just trying to offer some useful advice. The sound guy gave him a great opportunity to build his CV. It's always the lead guitar amp. Turn that chump down. Wouldn't you know that teen grew up to be T-Pain's smiling face? Every time I've seen an engineer with one of those wireless iPad consoles, the sound has been terrible. Dude sounds like the type of guy to get on roads just to be big. LMAO. That kid will remember this day forever, haha. This reminds me of when I was in university studying engineering and the lecturer was trying to explain how to read a somewhat complicated graph showing properties of different metals and doing a bad job of it. I had a light bulb moment and suddenly understood what he was trying to explain. But no one else in the lecture was getting it. I tried to give him a suggestion and he said, "If you think you're so smart, why don't you teach it then?" So I got up, went to the front of the lecture theater and successfully explained it to everyone in a couple of minutes. The class pretty much said to him, Why didn't you just say that? And he didn't have much to say to me following that. That's about how I pushed my way to be the sound guy for my university events. No degree needed if you know what the gear does and how to use it to its fullest. This is an audiophile's wet dream. Maybe the soundie actually was a bouncer trying to help out and the volunteer helped the festival out as the actual original soundie was sick? When I was in high school, I was the lighting guy for all the events. This got me hired to do lighting for a local dance class recital. Tap dancers, apparently, use special floor microphones to enhance the sound of their shoes. And the night of one of the shows, the stage crew couldn't find any. When described to me, I reported that there were a few in my booth at the back of the auditorium. Turns out they weren't floor mics. They were intended to be installed at the opposite side of the room. I don't remember exactly what for, but when they were installed, they started picking up the feedback from the huge speaker cluster above the center of the stage. For some reason, the stage manager didn't want to send anyone out to disconnect them until the current act was over. So we, and the entire audience, had to sit there listening to the high-pitched feedback tone for several minutes, while the poor solo dancer on stage did her act to no music. I hope they gave the kid a job after that. Ah ha ha niece. Love this story. This is a good story. Weirdly though it's the opposite of my usual experience. Not to denigrate anyone, but having played hundreds of shows, every time I arrive and there's a young sound guy running the desk, my heart sinks tears of joy. I don't know if I've ever had a show where the guy fresh out of college hasn't caused insane problems. Usually through overconfidence and insisting they know better than all the people in the room with their fingers in their ears. Sounds like this kid learned by doing rather than being taught. Which is awesome. He was probably attempting to improve things, but it wasn't working. We are partway through having a new sound system installed at my church, and I did the mixing for the first time yesterday. It should be better when the new speakers are installed to go with the new all singing all dancing mixing desk. But as it was, I had complaints that it was too loud and complaints that it was too quiet. To be fair, they weren't really complaints. They were observations. And the people who made them were very embarrassed to seem to be offering criticisms.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.